Hi. Hey everyone. Hi everyone. This is Qendresa. I am the influencer marketing director at Even Skin. Today we're going to have a discussion with Darnell Cox, who is an expert in the anti-aging, and she has been testing lots of devices, lots of skincare products, and then she has been creating an amazing protocol and like curating all different needs and like being there for different people to help through their anti-aging and skincare journey. So today we plan to have a discussion about her skincare, her devices that she has been using, and she has been a user of our devices for 2 or 3 years now, and like she has been a very close friend of ours. So just let me invite Darnell here. We're gonna try to keep short and like concise, so you guys get to get the information that you guys need, but also like at any time if you have any question, feel free to. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining. This is so special to have you here.
Oh my gosh. Well, I talk about your product a lot.
From the beginning, it's like you have been running our device for a very, very long time, and this is why we wanted to have information with you, because like you have been testing the device firsthand, so this way you can share more about the experience and the results that you get.
Yes. I love it. Listen, there's a lot of radio frequency devices on the market, you guys. I think COVID, basically what happened is during COVID, everybody stopped going to get treatments in office. First of all, they were expensive and a lot of us weren't working, but also too, it's just, to be able to afford something like that, let's say a radio frequency treatment in office, especially if you combined it with like microneedling, which they're doing a lot these days, you're looking at thousands of dollars per treatment, right? And then to be able to do that on a consistent basis is really out of the realm of possibility. And yes, unless you're living in the lifestyle of the rich and famous, we just can't do it. So to be able to do devices like this at home, I think that's like the wave of the future, right? Technology's getting better. We're getting much smarter about what we're doing with our skincare at home. And so I love this. And part of the reason is like, this is a hefty device.
I know. There's been built technology in this to make this like it's wireless. So like you get this, you're just like gonna use it anywhere that you are. So it also packs a punch. Like it has 5 different modes. So like you're getting multiple treatments rather than going to a clinic. You're getting this in just like one device.
That's
so like. There's so much quality that and research that we have been doing in order to come up with such design. But the main goal is like to make the radio frequency as powerful as possible, so people need to go to a clinic. And this is why it is important to also like follow the guidelines. Radio frequency you can for treatment or also during the week. So it is amazing. I have seen your protocol. And like you're like there's like a.
This is my protocol, you guys. In case you're wondering, you have it. I started this protocol as a way to kind of make myself accountable for my at-home treatments because, sometimes we hit the ground running in the morning and it's really hard to kind of fit this stuff in. And if you're one of those that, you're having a hard time fitting in getting to the gym, you're going to have a hard time fitting in doing all of these at-home treatments as well. But if we can spend 30 minutes, let's say 30 minutes to an hour, a couple days a week at the gym, you can spend 30 minutes at home every day doing some sort of treatment for your skin. Because the way that I look at it is skin is our largest organ, right? It's tied to our self-esteem. It's our only outward facing organ, but it is our largest organ. And I think sometimes when we start taking care of our largest organ, is when there's a lot of criticism. Oh, just age, you should just grow old gracefully. Well, I'm sorry, but this is the 21st century. And growing old gracefully looks very different for me than it might be somebody else. And when you're on that aging process, I'm a healthy aging coach. I'm a 55-year-old gerontologist and healthy aging coach. So not only am I like coaching people how to look and feel their best at every age, but I'm in the trenches with you guys. I'm in there doing whatever I can to do the same thing, and prioritizing not only what we do on the inside with our cardiovascular health, our bone density, getting out there, having our social engagement. There's all kinds of things that lead to healthy aging. But what we see in the mirror matters. And I don't mean like, oh, let's try to look like this filtered Instagram thing, but putting our best skin forward, having our best skin, and doing little things like this on our own to really kind of do self-care from the outside in is just as important in the aging process as metabolic health and heart health and all of that, because it is tied with our self-esteem. And if our self-esteem goes down because we don't like what we're seeing in the mirror, it changes everything that you do. It is like a snowball effect. So I get my clients in with the skincare, and then I help them live longer and better. So that's kind of what I'm all about. But that's how this whole thing started. It started with, how do I fit all of this stuff in, right? And it's not just radio frequency. I do microneedling at home. I do microcurrent at home. I do red light therapy at home. And it's all very strategic in this protocol. So if you guys don't have this protocol, you can just DM me the word protocol, and it'll cause you to sign up to the newsletter, but you'll get the protocol in the right to your inbox. So that's kind of how it started. And then when I started sharing that with everybody, people were very curious. How do you fit in radio frequency at home?
And this is why I want to share, like, it is totally worth it to get this protocol, because like if you have multiple devices, or only you have a few, but in conjunction with other products like retinol or vitamin A, vitamin C, and like all of those, you can get this like kind of in a sort of, okay, this is what you do on Monday, this is what you do on Tuesday, and then you get like over.
Yeah, so I'm going to show, so basically I'm 5 days post microneedling now. So I microneedle my whole face on Instagram Live on Sunday. That's what I do, that every Sunday, not necessarily my face, but different body parts. So I'm 5 days in right now, so excuse the little flaky skin here. But that's basically how I changed it. So I microneedle every Sunday, a different body part. I do red light therapy on Monday and Tuesday because I'm healing the trauma from the micro needling, right? Microneedling creates some micro traumas. So I'm healing it with red light therapy, and then I hit it on Wednesday with the Lumo for radio frequency. Because the microneedling is the epidermis. It's the top layer of the skin. But radio frequency bypasses that, and it really kind of tickles that collagen in the lower layers of the dermis and helps to restructure that. So you want to make sure you don't overdo it. You can't exhaust the skin and do more harm than good. So I do radio frequency every Wednesday, and then I let it rest for a couple days, and I do it every Saturday as well. And then the skincare changes accordingly. But if you're 50 and older, I think you guys recommend doing this twice a week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm 55. So I tell my clients who are under 50 to just do it once a week and add an extra chemical peel in here. But I've been doing this twice a week religiously, I think for, gosh, I want to say at least a couple years. I want to say 3 years.
Yeah, I think it is about 3 years that you had the Lumo, because you were like one of the first people that got the Lumo launched it.
Yeah. And I have to say, when I got it out of the thing, when I compare this to my other, listen, I've got every radio frequency device you could imagine, because I test them all out. But this one is very different, because not only is it's hefty and you can feel the quality of it, but it has so many different modalities. But for me personally, there's certain modalities that I love more than others. So I do skip around a little bit, but I make sure that I have 25 minutes of radio frequency, because there's multiple modes on here that have the radio frequency. So I make sure that I've got 25 minutes, because that's what you guys recommend. And what I tend to concentrate on, just for viewers who have this device, or maybe are looking for this device, I can tell you what I think the different modalities work best with. And for me, the radio frequency really helps all of this lower face area to chisel out right underneath the cheekbone, right? To help with the jowl area. I really feel that this helps to get right underneath the chin. It really kind of helps to define that jaw, right?
The before and after photos that we receive is like people, because they tend to focus more, because like it usually tends to sag a bit like after you get older. They focus in this part, so all of the before and afters are kind of like showing like a very tight jawline. So it is amazing to see effects.
Yeah. I mean, I also use the Venus on my eyelid. So I like that for the eyelid, but you know, this device for me is, I don't use it so much on my forehead. And I kind of stay away from my fat pads, but
Yeah.
I really use this to kind of lift that whole area and chisel that all out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think I have filler in my cheeks. I don't. I have a fat transfer from 5 years ago. So I stay away from that. But what I've realized with this is that when you're doing this consistently and you're chiseling out all of this and lifting this part, it makes your cheekbones look more defined.
Yeah, and especially because you can also do the EMS mode, and like it helps with muscle tightening. So it's a combination of radio frequency and EMS, also with the red light therapy. So then you're gonna have like kind of that instant effect, especially like if you're doing in this part, then you're just like, your face is just gonna feel like it's lifted. But
100%. You notice this? There's instant, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I think we have I think I'm having difficulty hearing you sometimes. So you guys, if I cut you off, I apologize, because sometimes your voice goes like quiet, and I'm not sure if.
Is it better? Is it better? Oh.
It's just the audio sometimes cuts out.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. I don't want people to think I'm rude and I'm like interrupting. So
don't worry. Don't worry about that. Yeah, but for anyone who like doesn't have an idea like what the Lumo has, like how the modes are combined. So the Lumo is an RF based device, so it's radio frequency, but it also has a combination of EMS, deep cleansing mode, and then there's a product penetration and the cooling and the EMS. So kind of like the best anti-aging treatment that you can get combined in this, because you're going to get the radio frequency and the EM. Radio frequency is more like the long-term goal for the anti-aging, like the skin tightening. But if you're looking more for like muscle tightening, it's going to be the EMS, because like you're going to feel that twitching while you're doing the I know
I think feeling the twitching is an understatement.
No. Why we recommend to everyone, like start with the lowest level, get them some conduction in there, but like just start slow and then just like see how you can tolerate the EMS, because like, okay, yeah, you feel a bit like more of a twitching.
Well, here's the thing. I'm always a go big or go home kind of girl, right? I'm like, everything is the max. Everything's the max, because I feel like I've been doing this for a long time. I've got a pretty high pain tolerance, and I'm like, okay, it's just the max. Don't start this on the max, you guys. Don't do it. Trust me.
Yeah, that is good advice, especially because sometimes we get those questions from people. Can I increase the minutes, or like, can I do more of the Lumo? I want to use this every day because I love it. But no, this is why we recommend to everyone, like you start with probably only once a week, because this is what we recommend first. And then you start increasing to twice a week. Only that are above the age of 70 or 80, they can potentially use it 3 times a week, but also like just kind of lower the level of radio frequency, because like if you're doing too much RF, then you're going to cause your skin more damage rather than the good effects. And this is why your skincare protocol makes sense, because like you're doing, like you're giving it space for the skin to heal, and like you're using also other products, so then you're just like hydrating, and like your skin is just feeling healthier while it's in the healing phase, and then you're like treatments.
Well, I think I think you just touched on something super important. I think a lot of times people think about, they look about their goal, sorry, a little tongue tied. Their goal is no wrinkles, lifted skin, you know, tighter skin, and that's the goal. But when you use it consistently and you're using it according to the directions, what you really do is you're improving the health of the skin, right? If you look at skin as an organ, you're improving the health of the skin, because the radio frequency bypasses that epidermis. It really kind of dysregulates the collagen fibers that are kind of, you know, not really lined up properly like a brick wall, and it kind of tickles those. So if you're healing from that and restructuring those collagen fibers, and you're calling on your own body to produce more collagen and elastin, if you're kicking at your skin while it's down, you know, you got to think of it like you're a boxer in a ring and you've been hit a bunch of times. Like, you don't want to like get back in the ring right away. You got to let it heal. And so then when you come back over the top of it, it's like, okay, it's like, you know, you've got muscle memory, and your skin, you're stimulating that collagen in such a way that you're not causing more harm than good.
100%. And that is the right way to kind of also understand what radio frequency does, because for many people it is very complicated probably to understand how radio frequency works, and it is like bypassing the epidermis, and like everything is working underneath. This is why you don't even like have kind of redness after you finish the treatment with the lumo, because everything is happening down in the deeper layers of your skin. I have a question. So because like sometimes we talk about, because we're so involved in the anti-aging, like we get those many technologies and devices that we get to test and talk about. But for anyone that is in the beginning and trying to figure it out, what would you recommend starting as in terms of like technology? Like we don't have to say like the lumo, because of course that wouldn't be suitable for any 20 years old, but like how would you describe, or how would you guide someone in this journey?
That's a really good question, because I do get a lot of people in their 20s that follow me. And listen, if you're in your 20s, that's when I started. That's a great time to start. But you're never too young to think about getting old, but you're also never too old to think about looking your youngest self, right? So there's no right time to start. Just be conscious of it. Be respectful of this one thing that we are given, right? We've got this one skin. And so I treat it with the same respect as I do my heart and my lungs and my bones. But a good place to start, I always say, you know, prevention. So sunscreen, start there. Start with just the sunscreen. If you did nothing else, just protect your skin. But the first gadget, and I don't know how this is going to go over well with the Lumo people, but the first gadget that I think, if you're starting out and you really want something that improves the health of your skin, and it doesn't matter what age you are, that would be red light therapy to me, because you're looking at it in a cellular level. You're increasing the ATP in a cellular level with red light therapy. Now this has red light, but you're doing it on, you know, it's a limited amount of time because it's not like a mask. So for me, I always tell my clients, if you're going to invest in, if you can only invest in one thing, you want to invest in red light therapy, because it's from the epidermis and then all the way to the dermis, to the cellular level, to the circulation. Red light therapy works with all of that. So I love that a red light is you know, included in this. But for a lot of people, it's like that's the main thing, and that you need to cover your whole face. So I have a lot of different red light therapy mats, big mats that are on my Amazon store. I also do a red light therapy panel. And when you're healing from these kind of things, you guys, red light therapy is absolutely key. Red light therapy and collagen. So if you want my red light therapy pics, you can just DM me the word red light. If you want my collagen, which is like honestly the best on the market, just DM me the word collagen. But all of these things work together, right? So you increase the circulation, you're causing more energy in the cell, you're hitting it with red light, you're hitting with microneedling. There's a lot of different combos that kind of work. But that's a good place to start.
This is why on Wednesday you do radio frequency, and then on Thursday you're doing red therapy. And I know you have like this big panel, and then you're just like laying in front of it. Red light. Yeah, that is proven technology.
I do. I mean, red light, there's so much technology when it comes to red light therapy, but I do have the big panel. I do also have the masks. So I can, you know, put a mask on, a red light therapy mask, and the neck and chest attachment. and walk around the house and get my red light therapy in.
Yeah.
But it's strategic the way that you do it, right? So you want to create some trauma, heal, create some trauma, heal, microcurrent, create some trauma. So there's a method to the madness.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that part. I know this is going to make sense for a lot of people. And there's another thing that I was thinking. Whenever I was watching your live videos, and like you're doing different treatments and like sharing about, I in many of your videos on YouTube as well. You have been doing a lot of in-clinic treatments before, and then combining with different skincare. And I was thinking, because sometimes people are confused. Do they need to go in a clinic and like get let's say a Morpheus 8 kind of RF treatment, or like something bigger, in order to achieve kind of your result? Because like you look flawless, your skin is, it's just like, it looks so so youthful, and it has like that glow. I know many people are looking for something like this, and it's more just about treating the wrinkles, it's about the tightening, but it's also like that glow. And I know it comes in combination with like healthy foods and a healthy lifestyle
You
over.
took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, let's start with, what are you eating?
It's not about a skincare device. It's not about a skincare serum or any of that. It is a combination of a lifestyle that you need to kind of coordinate and like keep your organs and everything healthy, because that skin is the biggest organ. We can treat that, but everything is coming from within. So it is a combination of many things that one can do. But like, kind of for anyone that would like to know how they can treat themselves, or like, do they need to go like to a clinic, get the results, and then start to maintain with other devices, what would you recommend in this process?
It really depends on your commitment to this. You know, there's a lot of skincare junkies out there, and this is what they just love to do. They'd rather spend money on skincare and treatments and devices than they would a handbag.
Yeah.
Right? That's everybody's priority in where they want to spend their time and their finances, right? Me personally, I used to do a lot of in clinic stuff. And I think COVID really kind of changed that. But also when I got the gerontology degree at USC, I started really doing a lot of one-on-one coaching. And what I found with that is, you know, people can they can allot the money to like, okay, let me sit down and figure out what I'm going to do. But then, do I want to spend a couple $1,000s in a treatment facility where I know for the best results, I need 3 or 4 treatments, and then I need to do it again next year? It's so ridiculously expensive. And so what I personally do is I do all of this stuff at home in a very strategic way, in a very consistent way. This is my own accountability that I share with you guys for free. I do it all at home, and then every once in a while, like around my birthday time, I'll treat myself with an in-office treatment.
Yeah.
So just recently, I turned 55 in April, and my daughter's getting married in a couple of weeks. And so I did a Morpheus 8 which is a radio frequency and microneedling combined. So the microneedles go down into the skin. So it is a traumatic kind of thing. And then at the deepest depth, it shoots out radio frequency, which is why at home we combine radio frequency and microneedling on different days. So it's kind of, you know, you can kind of see where I'm going with that. So that's what I do. I do this very consistently at home with a lot of other modalities. And then every once in a while, I want to treat myself, I'll go and do something in clinic. But what I have found when I recommend stuff to do in clinic to different clients, the consensus across the board is they thought it was going to do more, and man, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And what I've found is if I'm consistently doing them at home, week in and week out, every single week I'm doing these, I get better results doing stuff like this at home than I do sporadically going in and spending a lot of money in office treatments.
And it also makes more sense, I think, because like you're doing this for a longer period of time, and just like doing this gradually, rather than traumatizing your skin with like one big let's say powerful device, or like needles, because not everyone feels comfortable to go under needles or any of that. So it makes more sense, like, because you're getting treatments and you're like combining this with other stuff, so then you're getting the healing process, and then like you're doing something, and like it's just more consistent, so it makes sense for the body to recover and just like give that effect.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you did 3 treatments of like a Morpheus 8 in office, and you did that, you know, every 6 weeks, then the whole rest of the year you're taking off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm doing radio frequency at home twice a week, and microneedling once a week, and microcurrent once a week. I'm giving a chemical pill. My skincare is very much on point. So that's 30 minutes a day that you're doing something to your skin.
Yeah.
If you just think about the logic of that, that's got to be better than a go big or go home treatment in office a couple times a year, right?
As going to the gym is like, you're not going to see the results if you're going there once and like doing the heavy lifting, and or going to a clinic and trying to like do one of those very heavy massages or something like that. You're going to have like instant result from that, but you're not going to get like this long-term effect. So it makes sense. Yeah. This is why we recommend to people to if you have a device, you don't need to get everything else that is in the market. Try to stick to something and just like be consistent with it, because then it's going to show the results. It's not going to show you the results after 1 month, even though like there are devices you're going to feel the effect, but it is more like if you want to feel that long-term effect, it is the same as going to the gym. You need to go there, you need to be consistent, you need to combine it with the foods and everything else in order for your skin to like be at its best shape.
100%, 100%. But there are, you know, to be honest, there are some at-home devices, and this is one of them, that when you do a full treatment, when I do a full radio frequency treatment on my lower face and on this jawline, your skin feels bouncier. Mm-hmm. You feel like your skin is tighter. You can feel the difference, right? You need to make sure that you're using a conductive gel and you're using the same protocol and you're following all the directions. But if you're doing it like that, you can feel and see an immediate difference. Now, how long does that immediacy last? Does it matter? You're doing it twice a week, and you know that you're doing something with your collagen production, right?
Right.
So I love the whole protocol. I love this device, but you do want to start small on the muscle stimulation. I did one, I think I was leaving for somewhere for a trip, and I was just doing it in the bathroom real quick because I didn't want to take it with me. I didn't know if this is going to get confiscated, you know? So I did a treatment really quick at home, and I filmed it, and I accidentally had the EMS on the highest and literally almost fell backwards. So the EMS, you guys, that's the one that goes like this, right?
Yeah.
Start small. Start small.
Yeah. I'm just checking if there's any questions anyone addressed so that we can address this while we are here. When can you use a Lumo after fillers? We usually recommend taking up to 2 weeks after you had any Botox or fillers. You can use it with the Botox, but at least give it some time. Any recommendations, Darnell?
Yeah, I would say at least 2. If you're doing fillers, if you've got in for just a touch of this or a touch of that, okay. But if you're doing fillers, if you're filling something up, you don't want to go over the top of it with radio frequency, because not only because your butt, it's not gonna affect your filler. It's not like it's gonna obliterate it, but because filler, you can move around for a couple of weeks. What you don't want to do is be doing anything on your skin that could potentially alter the location of where you have the filler. Okay. Exactly. When you're doing Botox though, and this is why I don't use this device often on my forehead. Briefly, it's like a drive-by on just on my forehead. I'm brief on my forehead and a little bit on my occipital bone on my eyebrows, but I'm brief there because I have Botox here. Yeah. So if you're doing the EMS mode, your muscles are stimulating. You don't want to do the EMS mode on places where you have Botox, but you can do all of the modes on places that you have filler, as long as you wait a couple weeks for that filler to really solidify its location. Yeah. I hope that.
Yeah, it does. If anyone else have any question, please feel free to address while we're so having this discussion, because like Darnell has been a tester of many things, so I know she's the expert on the anti-aging, but it's more like the healthy lifestyle that one could do for themselves. So it is to get the time as we have for here in this special discussion to get as many questions out there if you need anything.
I'm 23 years old and I want advice from you, beautiful. Oh, 23, sunscreen. Sunscreen. Prevention is your friend. In your 20s, you can start on retinoids. So start on retinoids. So I would say if you had 3 products that you could use something like this once a week, once every couple weeks. But at 23, my thought is sunscreen, retinoid at night, vitamin C in the morning.
Yeah.
I use the new face and red light therapy. What other devices would you recommend? Somebody said I'm 24. I use the new face and red light therapy. What other devices would you recommend? At 24, you could do this and do it once a week. But at 24, I would also suggest a Dr. Penn microneedling. You could do a stamper or you could do the Dr. Penn.
Yeah.
But at 20, in our mid-20s is when our collagen starts decreasing by about 1% a year. And then when you hit, menopause, 55, it really like falls off a cliff. But in your 20s is when it starts going down. And that's when you want to do little things to trick your skin into behaving like it did when it was still at full capacity, producing its full amount of collagen. And that is a little bit of microneedling, which creates those micro traumas, which calls on your skin to come to the rescue and build more collagen. And something like this as well with the radio frequency, because it is kind of dissembling those collagen and making the structure a little bit better.
Yeah. There was another question, where can you get the protocol? You can DM Darnell with the word protocol.
Yeah.
Is this how it works? They're gonna get
that. Just because my system is kind of automated. So if you DM me just the word protocol, you'll get this calendar. I'll make you sign up for the newsletter, you guys. I'm sorry. I give you guys a lot of stuff for free. You just gotta sign. That's the process.
Yeah. There's a
sign up for it'll prompt you to sign up for the newsletter, and you could get this protocol for free. So yeah.
Are you able to incorporate the Nira for your full face with the Lumo? I think Nira, it's a device that it's focused in the eye area, as far as I know. So if you're using the Lumo full face, because Lumo is designed full face, neck and décolletage, you need to avoid the thyroid area and the eye socket. So anything that goes here. We also have the Venus, which is kind of the baby Lumo that we call. It combines thermal heating, not radio frequency, but instead of radio frequency, it combines with thermal heating, sonic vibration, and then it also has blue and red light therapy.
And an ion uptake in that too as well.
It's a laser, so it's a different type of technology. But have you been using that device, or how do you combine this?
Nira laser it's a little tiny surface area that you use around your eyes. They did come up with one that's a little bit bigger for the full face. I have not tested that one out. That one's still new. But the Nira laser is something that occasionally I use. It's not something that I use all the time, because honestly, the thing that I've found that works the best close to the eyes, because the Lumo can't get close to the eyes, is microneedling on that occipital bone. And so because of that, I don't feel at the age of 55 yet that I need to add the Nira in there consistently. So it's not on here, but if you look at the protocol, there's all the things that are every day too, which is dry brushing, freezing cold shower. So, there's things that I do every day, but if it's not on here, it's things that I throw in every once in a while.
Okay. So, yeah, that makes sense. What depth do you use the microneedling?
Okay, so I have a whole other protocol on microneedling, because listen, you guys, it's needles going towards your face. Like, you need to be careful here, right? So I do a whole microneedling protocol that starts with safety first. And in that protocol, every single body part and face part, I give you the depth that I'm using, the technique that I'm using, how many passes I'm doing, and the speed. And that's on my microneedling protocol. So instead of protocol, you would DM me skincare protocol or protocol for this. This is the microneedling protocol, totally free, but I am going to make you do this first. You are going to have to sign up for the newsletter, you guys, and you're going to thank me, because it's once a week and it's a kick-ass newsletter.
You've done an amazing job putting all of this together in one place, so that is totally worth it. There's another question. Do you also sell just a radio frequency device only Unfortunately, at the moment, no. And but with the Lumo, you get the RF treatment only, so you can only focus on that.
Mhm.
But the Lumo has been designed more with a target audience, kind of like that just doesn't want to buy everything that is in the market, but wants to focus on one and like get as many treatments as possible. So then this way they can be consistent and get the results. So you get an RF treatment, but there's also like other modes that are combined with radio frequency. But that is something that probably in the future we're gonna work on, because like this RF and like devices are is our expertise.
You guys, this is one of those devices that gives you a lot of different lot of different modalities. So you do have the red and blue light, you do have muscle stimulation, you do have ion import, you do have, you know, where you can deep clean as well. This little ring comes off and you put on your little cotton ball,
Yeah.
right? It slides back on and it literally sucks all the stuff out of your pores. So when I'm traveling, if I'm gone for more than, I want to say 4 or 5 days, this is in the suitcase, because it's one of those devices. Instead of me packing up everything, it's one of those devices that it works for a lot of different things. So I'll pack this, pack the Venus, and I'll usually pack like a red light therapy mask.
Yeah.
I'll see if
There was, can microneedling good for arms and legs? I'm guessing the question is microneedling good for arms and legs?
Yeah. Elbows, upper arms, abdomen, chest, forearms, hands, knees, thighs. It's all on here. It's all, yeah. Yeah. Because your skin, you guys, your skin doesn't end here. When we're looking at skincare, you know, there's very few things that give you full retinoid on the body, right? You have to really look for them. If there's very few things that gives you all of this stuff all over the body. The reason why I like this device as well is because the head of this is big enough to be able to use on your body.
Yeah.
So if you think I'm only doing radio frequency on my face, no.
No.
You bring this downstairs in front of the TV. I do this on my abdomen. I do this on my thighs. And the reason I love this is because, again, there are some, I've got a lot of other radio frequency devices here, but there are some, well, this is not really a great one. Sorry, I was going to try to see if I can pull one up here. There's very few that have this size of head, right,
Yeah.
on it. If you've got a radio frequency device that's this small, that's really difficult to do like your abdomen or like the back of your arms. This you can use on your entire body. So I really do like that whole thing. But yes, your skin does not stop here. So all of the treatments that you are able to do from here, whether it's skincare or not, microneedling, red light therapy, microcurrent, I have not had great luck with in terms of full body. I have the devices. I don't think they do anything, but I do see a difference in the skin tightening with an RF on that crepey skin I have above my belly button. I did grow 3 human beings in my stomach. So, so there's the aftermath of that. But I do feel that this works just as well on those other body parts as well.
Yeah. It's gonna take longer to see results, because like the thickness of the skin is just totally different from what the Lumo has been designed. But yeah, we get this question, can I use it in other parts of the body? Yes, of course you can. Just, of course, don't expect the same results you're gonna get on your face or neck and décolletage.
And that's when you focus on the health of your skin.
Exactly.
Right? So stop looking in the mirror and saying, is this wrinkle a little bit less? You're doing something healthy for your skin. So if you're spending 30 minutes a day improving the health of your skin, all of that accumulates to younger looking skin when you look at the timeline, right? So stop thinking like, oh, all of a sudden my saggy elbow is going to go away. It's not, but you're improving the health of your skin. And these little tiny changes, when done consistently, make a big difference.
Yeah, because like this technology has research and it is proven to show results, but it has long term. It's not going to be like I use one session of the Lumo and then I'm getting the results. Oh my God, my skin is just like glowing. And if you ever hear someone saying that, you got to believe that that is not true. It needs to be multiple things done for a long period of time in order to see the results.
Yeah. And then you get into that sweet spot. Will the Lumo help with bruising and swelling? That's an interest. It would depend on what it's from. Is it from a traumatic thing? Is it from working out? Like you need to be a little bit more specific with that question. Sorry. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah. Also, the Luma works way deeper, and bruising, I think, is more kind of something that it kind of just showing you in the topical. But if you have anything specific, feel free to DM us, and our customer support will be able to answer if we have anything on this. And like, if not, we're gonna forward the question to our professionals and like just get the right answer to you guys.
Yeah, I want to scroll and see if there was anything else.
Is there anything, because I know I'm taking lots of your time, there's so many questions that I have for you because I know you're the expert on all this, but is there anything that you would recommend? Because like sometimes I hear like misconceptions in skincare, and like there's, oops, and then we have Darnell leaving us for a while. Just gonna invite her back.
I don't know what happened. I think I was accidentally scrolling to see if I could get to.
Oh, no,
I was scrolling to see if I could answer a question, and I like hit the wrong button or something. I'm so sorry, you guys. We're back.
Welcome back. There's another question to go over where the safe places are on the neck. The device is designed to be used full neck. You just need to avoid the thyroid area. For that is it is because radio frequency has not been researched in the thyroid, and we don't know the effects of that. So in order to stay safe, you use it everywhere. There are some tricks that people usually do. I hear some people that are just like pulling the skin just a bit on the side so they get to part, but that is something that is up to people. And I mean, for us, we also we always recommend to play it safe. But if anyone wants to treat that, then there are some tricks that you can do.
I always like I literally stay away from this whole area, but I think what you can do is if you can stay right here, that's not on your thyroid, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. If there's anything else that you would like to share, kind of, because I know, as I said, I'm taking lots of your time in here, and thank you so much for joining. I think we can do this more often and like kind of tackle even more topics and like even more technologies. But is there anything that you would like to share with the audience? Because there are questions that I know you usually get, and I know you tackle lots of this in your own lives. But
yeah,
there
is actually something that I want to cover, because the questions that I get a lot is radio frequency right for me, or is microcurrent right for me, or should I be microneedling? And you know, this is not the time when you're talking about skincare and you're talking about what you want to look like going forward, because this is a personal journey for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm not one that's going to ever be shamed into thinking like, oh, you shouldn't be taking care of your outsides. You absolutely should. Not only am I a gerontologist and a healthy aging coach, but I also have a graduate degree in psychology. And I'm telling you, when your skin and your outward appearance is not something that you're proud of, if you're having a bad skin day, you need to, if you equated it with a bad hair day, or not being able to zip your jeans up, I'm telling you, you guys, it changes what you do with that day.
Yeah.
If your skin is glowing, no matter what your age, this is not the time to cheat off your neighbor's metaphorical Instagram paper, right? This is about your journey moving forward and aging. And this is a personal thing for you guys, for everybody. But because our skin is our outward facing organ, it's so closely tied to our self-esteem that it deserves the respect, and it deserves the attention that we would give to trying to eat well, or trying to exercise, or trying to take care of our blood pressure. It deserves that same kind of attention, because if you are going forward with your best skin, it changes what you do with that day. You're far less likely to, like, you know, sit down on the TV and with a bag of Doritos and binge watch Netflix. It's just changes what you do. So to be able to still at any age look in the mirror and think like, I'm doing everything in my power to look and feel my best, and know that, you know, not only am I trying to expand the number of years on the planet, but looking and feeling your best while you're doing that changes somebody's life. Because
incredible.
Just think about just think about like the sitting, plopping your butt on the couch with a bag of Doritos if you're not feeling good, or going out and doing something. When I have a good skin day or a good hair day, I want to go out and run into every ex-boyfriend I ever had, right? It changes what you do. So
Yeah.
that's super important. And there's more than one way, you guys, to get to good skin, right? It's not just radio frequency. It's not just microneedling. It's not just red light therapy. This is the technology that we have now. In the future, the 20-year-olds on here, maybe you'll be able to walk into a contraption and push a button and everything just gets refreshed.
Wow.
But that's not our reality right now.
Yeah.
And at 55, I call on multiple different scientific studies that show that these modalities work to improve the health of our skin. So that said, if you're looking for certain little things, let's say, for example, you have, your biggest concern is, I have a crepe, my eyelids are super crepey. If your eyelids are super crepey, this might not be the device for you, right? Because it's not going to work with that. So if that's your main concern and you're wondering, what device do I buy first? Buy a microneedling tool, buy the Venus that will heat up the skin, right? Yeah. Those are the things that you want to start looking at. If you're somebody where you're like, God, I hate this jowl area or this double chin area, you want to invest in radio frequency. You might also want to invest in microcurrent. If your skin is splotchy, your pores are big, you might want to invest in like doing some at-home chemical peels and a red light therapy mask. It depends specifically on what your concerns are. That's where you need to invest the money.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing this, because this is super smart, because everyone needs to do their research depending on what they need to get and like depending what their concerns are. But especially the part where you shared that you need to do anything that you can in order to be on your best shape, and that is a combination of everything. And this is why we're so thankful that this technology exists, and this is why the Lumo has been designed in that order, so that it is affordable for people. It is an investment. So if you're getting the Lumo or anything else in the market, like our Mirage, the LED face mask, or any other device, it is going to be an investment. But then if you're looking this long term, and then if you're looking, rather than going to a clinic and paying thousands of dollars, this is just like a fraction of the price, and you're getting lots of results. And as you mentioned, like you usually see more results if you're doing this like weekly and monthly, all of those treatments. So thankfully that this technology exists, and everyone can get such devices and get the treatments at home and just take care of themselves.
Yeah, it's not only is it, I mean, it is an investment, but amortized. I've had this now for 3 years, over 3 years, at twice a week. I mean, come on, you couldn't get that in office, and I feel like I'm getting better results at home.
Yeah. And if you guys have any question at all in terms of like how technology is designed and like what everything is built into the Lumo or any of our devices, feel free to DM us. We have an amazing customer support, and then people are going to be able to answer you. We even go on calls if anyone needs any more like guidance in this process. So feel free to do your own research and get to talk to us if you need anything. Subscribe to Darnell's protocol. That is so helpful if you're in that stage that you get like tons of devices and treatments that you want to kind of utilize and kind of get the best results out there. I would recommend subscribing to her skincare protocol.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining. It was such a pleasure. Wow. I just see the time is flying here, but thank you so much. And I hope we get to talk more about all the devices and other technologies, and kind of gather even more questions that we usually get, and we can target them together.
Yeah, and if you guys, if those of you new people watching that have never seen me before, I do an Instagram live every Saturday. Yeah. So tomorrow I'm going to do a whole microcurrent tutorial. So if you're interested in microcurrent, you can join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Instagram Live. You guys.
See you there. Thank you so much. All right. Have a great day. All right.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.